everyone. I'm Jaina Kothari from the Center for Law and Policy Research in Bangalore. At CLPR, we use legal research, policy reform, and strategic litigation to make sure that the Constitution works for all, especially the most marginalized groups. We especially work with the transgender community and to guarantee their rights in India. A little bit about myself. I'm a senior advocate practicing in Bangalore with over 20 years of experience. I have always been very passionate about gender and the law, and I started working on transgender rights. I started working on transgender rights because of Akkai Padmashali, one of India's leading trans rights activists. And I realized soon that nothing challenges our deep-rooted notions of gender stereotypes more than trans issues. CLPR therefore works extensively on protecting the legal rights of the trans and intersex community in India, and it is one of the leading organizations working on these issues. Trans persons in India face high physical and sexual violence. They are criminalized by the law and face a huge amount of stigma and discrimination. In fact, trans persons have absolutely no options for livelihood, and therefore most of them are forced into sex work and begging for their livelihood reasons. Even their most basic rights to education and employment are not guaranteed. The National Human Rights Commission in India, in one of their reports, recently noted that almost 94% of transgender persons in India have no opportunities for employment. One of the reasons for this is Section 377 of the Indian Penal Code. This is the British-era colonial legislation that criminalizes same-sex conduct and makes same-sex conduct a crime. Trans persons face the most amount of violence and are most vulnerable to police harassment because of Section 377. In 2016, CLPR filed a petition in the Supreme Court challenging the constitutionality of Section 377, representing Akkai Padmashali, who's here, along with Sana and Umi, two other trans petitioners. And theirs was the only petition which represented transgender persons in this massive battle against Section 377. On 6th September 2018, the Supreme Court of India declared Section 377 as unconstitutional. The court held that same-sex conduct between consenting adults cannot be a criminal offense, and that all persons have the constitutional rights to privacy, autonomy, and dignity. The court went on to hold that sex discrimination under the Constitution would also include discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation and gender identity. As we celebrated at the town hall in Bangalore this decision, we were quite overwhelmed, and it was unbelievable that CLPR had a role to play in this big victory that led to the decriminalization of transgender persons and their recognition as equal citizens with fundamental rights. But equality on the ground needed a lot more work to be done. We used this Supreme Court win to challenge other discriminatory laws. The Telangana Eunuchs Act is another colonial-era legislation that was in the state of Telangana, and it criminalized eunuchs as they were still noted under the law if they were found wearing feminine clothing or appearing in public, and it gave the police the right to arrest trans persons at any time without a warrant. We challenged the Telangana Eunuchs Act in the Andhra Pradesh High Court, and the Andhra Pradesh High Court has now passed an order halting the operation of the law. To implement the 377 decision, we also realized that we needed to litigate more to bring about positive recognition of rights of transgender persons. In 2019, early this year, we represented Jiva, a young female-to-male trans person in Bangalore who wanted his name and gender identity changed in his educational records and was not being done. He filed a petition in the Karnataka High Court. The High Court not only directed that his name and gender be changed, but also passed an order directing all educational authorities in the state to ensure that all name and gender applications for trans students are automatically done without having them to come to court for every single request. So therefore, Jiva's case is leading policy reform in India. In order to make cases and judgments like Jiva's more accessible and easy to find for people, CLPR started the South Asian Trans Law Database. This is a full repository of judgments, cases, laws and policies on transgender rights across the entire South Asia region. But in order to do all of this on a sustainable basis, to implement the Supreme Court win, to make the database useful and updated, and to use more litigation to bring about positive social change for the trans community, we need funds. We need funds to hire talented young lawyers full-time who can do this kind of legal work and research. £6,000, which we're pitching today, would help us provide completely free legal representation and access to justice for transgender persons for an entire year. And this would end up making their constitutional rights that were guaranteed under Section 377 a reality on the ground. Finally, on the day of the Supreme Court victory, Akkai declared that it was their day of independence for the trans community. So we hope that your contribution today will ensure that we continue to do this, and hopefully our work will lead to many more Supreme Court victories. Thank you.